reference?
It's 673.
673. That one doesn't feel that nice to me. That's like a man.
No, it's
episode.
garbage number.
The number of the episode is garbage. However, this episode is going to be magical.
It's going to be a
fun and
doozy.
amazing.
Is it?
Yes, Susie. Let me tell you.
How frequently are you like, that was a dud? After we're done?
Only when I feel like I don't know the story well enough to like, or like it's not like sometimes I told you that the news is back. That we care about the things. Sometimes when it's right around election time, we get very political. Like so it becomes. I don't know. It becomes harder to find the fun stuff, or maybe everybody's kind of focused on something else. You know, the stuff that people. So. It has been an exciting week.
Okay.
In science and things like that.
Okay.
And me discovering things in science. So
discovering the discoveries.
I feel like that's super fun to share. What the heck mug are you drinking out of? You're drinking out of a tea kettle. Susie is drinking out of a tea kettle. What is happening?
Tea kettle. It's just like a Stanley.
Oh, you know what? I think maybe just the angle of this makes that. Is it giant? No, that's the size of your head.
It's large.
How big is a cup compared to your? No, that seems about normal. No,
I could wear it as a hat.
Wow, if you guys don't have the Patreon video, where you get
you're
to
really
watch
missing
this,
out.
You are missing out of Susie and her crazy kettle hat.
My
That's
tumbler.
funny.
No, I mean it just is good for keeping my hot tea hot.
Yeah, still sick
This is
over there.
a honey and lemon with bitters in it because
that's very good.
It's goodish, but I asked Adam to go get me whiskey to make a whiskey tea, and he didn't. And he was like, "I put bitters in instead." Like he forgot.
That is good. That is good. I hate to, rub it in your face.
Pile on,
but I'm drinking the same thing with whiskey in it.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
a honey, lemon, and whiskey.
Honey, lemon, tea, like a tea situation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like a like
that
a
is so
spiced
nice.
tea, and a little bit of booze.
That's rude.
Because I find that our episodes are just more fun when
for us. I don't know if they are for anyone else.
Maybe that's it. I think I'm like, this is great information, and really, it's just like I am 2/3 of the way through a hot toddy.
All right. Well, this could get weird because I'm on cough syrup and you are drinking.
Oh, there we go. Are you still sick over there?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
These
going
things
through
take
winter.
time, Sarah. On the Beverly Hillbillies, I always remember how Granny said that she had a cure for the common cold. And it was, like fucking raccoon soup or something. And then she said that it cures the common cold in 7 to 10 days. Which is hilarious because that's what a cold lasts.
Oh, that's funny. That took me a second. And this is maybe one of the best segues you've ever given me. Because one of the things that I am the most excited to share, it happens to be newly discovered information about the common cold. And Suze, when I say newly discovered, I mean in the last week. Like if you Googled this 1 month ago, not there.
No.
Different info, which is why I love our show, Things We Got Wrong, because we could have talked about why do people get sick more often around the holiday, or like not around the holidays, around in cold weather. Like why do people get sick when it's cold outside more often than when it's warm? Everybody
inside.
What was it?
Because we're inside, all the germs in there.
This is what we've all thought.
Yeah.
Well, not anymore.
Okay, what is it?
This is super cool. So there is a brand new immune response that we have discovered that has everything to do with our nose. So your nose is the thing that like sticks out and also like gets the coldest. Everybody, has experienced that. Like your nose gets cold first. And also everything else that we do to wrap up, we leaves the nose exposed.
Sure does.
So the good old scientists out there have developed this, what they call extracellular vesicles that are these basically like your nose's immune response. And so these are like these little things that detect pathogens in the nose, and then the nose goes like, ooh, something's there. And they send out this swarm of extracellular vesicles that are released to like capture and attack the whatever invaders
it's like
are
an
entering.
army.
Totally. Like army, little like swarm of bees.
We
like,
got this.
Like, yeah, we're going to go block them and we're going to go get them. And so because of like the coronavirus, people like researchers have been wanting to look at cold symptoms, things like rhinovirus pathogens, which are behind the common
what
cold.
The fuck?
And what the heck is
Figure
going on.
Figure this out, scientists.
So,
my God.
They discovered it. These little vesicles are in the nose, and when it's cold outside, this new research found that healthy participants exposed to temperatures of 40 degrees Fahrenheit for 15 minutes saw a 5-degree drop in the temperature of the nose. And when it did that, the number of pathogens that were released by the nose dropped by nearly 42%.
You're telling me
Yes.
This army is like basically an army of Susies who are like, whoa, I don't like the cold.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. 100% that is exactly what's happening. These guys are like, oh, heck no, it's cold out there. I'm good. You're fine. That is it. That the number of they call them EVs. So the EVs, extracellular vesicles. The number of EVs that were secreted to defend against these pathogens dropped that much, 42%.
I can't say that I blame them.
The nose became less able to kind of protect itself against these, antiviral or viruses that are floating around.
Like I said, on one hand, I can't blame them. I hate being cold. I wouldn't want to do that job either. But I didn't sign up to be in a nose army.
Right. That is like their own. This is true.
You have one
Susie,
job.
thank you for holding the right people accountable. And by people, I mean those little EVs in our nose. This is hilarious. I love Susie on cold medicine. She's like, hang on a sec.
Wait a minute. Because that is bullshit. You have one job.
That is their job. And when they get cold, and we're not even talking that cold, like 40 degrees.
Yeah, right.
That's
toughen up.
That's I would say 50% of the days in where I live.
Yeah, that's crisp
and
fall weather.
So, you know what? Oh my God, this makes so much sense. I was on a walk with Eli the other day, and I was wondering, like, I always have to stuff tissue in my pocket when it's cold outside and I'm on a walk. And it's like when I'm working out or when I'm like outside, and it's probably just when I'm outdoors, like not even doing anything. Now that makes total sense why your nose gets runny, because they don't send out these little things to be like, heck no, get out of here.
Yeah.
This is
They're
crazy.
sleeping on the job. It is so rude.
Look at that. This is brand new. I love it.
That is crazy.
Like every now and then I think, are we ever going to like run out of shit to talk about on here? Is there ever going to be like a time where, nope.
I mean, there's always poop stories, so.
Always. Oh my God. I don't have all the,
one?
I've read the article and I want to go in and like, I don't even want to say do a deep dive because it's funny, but
so
I read an article in the Atlantic on the evolution of the butthole.
No,
but they said
it
anus.
evolved?
Yes. How we all evolved.
What did it used to look like?
Okay, well, I'll just talk a little bit about this. This is going to be, I will formulate like more of a story. Like
evolution of the beehole.
So this is hilarious. If you look at very unevolved creatures, most of them have and are, early, very early, I don't know, creature ancestors, like the first sign of life on Earth. They all had a one way or.
Oh God!
They ate through the same thing that they shit through.
Oh,
like,
right.
And we see this in jellyfish. We see this in like a lot of those kind of like where it's a sack. So they take everything in,
one-stop shop,
and then they have to digest that meal, and then they spit out the one-stop shop. So they say that evolutionary, scientists say that at one point both lips were touching, so to speak. Like that that it was one thing that separated
That's
and
why they
lengthened.
look alike?
They didn't say that, but I drew that conclusion myself as well, Susie. I could not stop laughing as I was reading that. This is in the Atlantic. I mean, I will come with quotes and actual factual information, but that is, they said that if you look at how the anus evolved on all species, that our early evolutionary ancestors have one sac that is the same exit and entrance, and then that entrance to the sac split into two, and one became the exit and one became the entrance. And
after elongating,
gave it gave a species a chance to hold and store more energy. You could eat more and reserve more energy because something could be digesting while you're eating something else.
Yeah, that's handy.
Yeah, so it evolved.
You could even eat on the toilet now if you want. If you want a snack.
Yes, this is true. So yeah, they're always be holsters. So like that one, I wasn't planning on talking about that.
I'm glad you did.
Since you mentioned it, yeah. But my mind was blown by this cold thing. That now we know, and so now what I'm imagining, the real thing that we need to do is keep our little noses warm.
Yeah. Mask
so now
up.
we're going to, this is another reason to wear a mask. But also I just feel like right now the face shield, like what I wear when I go snowboarding, covers everything but my nose, like leaves the nose out. And I feel like this information is going to evolve fashion, like make fashion and even not necessarily fashion, but things that are designed for function, like to protect you in the cold weather, become something that we just wear over our nose, and instead our mouth is open.
Pretty soon you're going to have to ski in like a whole snorkel scuba situation.
I will send you a picture of Eli in his, because his covers his face like a scuba mask, and he looks like that. And we do. I mean, there's no weather that's too cold. There's just gear.
Do you think that's sexy at all?
Yeah, I do.
Do you ever like Google on Dipsy? Like, do you ever search?
Oh my gosh, I bet
like snowboard
ski instructor.
Yeah.
Oh, I fell down in the snow. I need you to come. Oh, and we need to warm up. And so we should probably get together with our body heat so that we could stay warm in these cold.
Wow.
I should write for them.
Maybe Dipsy's hiring.
Just my hot toddy. Woo.
Dipsy, if you need any writers for your sexy stories, I believe Sarah is available. And if you guys haven't checked it out, you should. Dipsy Stories is a fantastic way for you to get in the mood and hear stories that get your motor running.
Mm-hmm.
They have something for everyone. It's designed by women for women. So it is perfect for whatever you're into. You just do a little search, find what you want, and get cooking.
You know, I also want to say, from like a therapist's perspective, sometimes this really helps, like, conversations about sex. This helps like give people ideas about like how to increase intimacy with their partner, or even feel that on their own if you don't have a partner. You like, this is so healthy. We need to be like, exploring those all the good feelings out there, and something that helps to make that feel more comfortable and accessible and not intimidating, and like something shameful for everyone, and shameful is so freaking fantastic and empowering, and I love it.
Soothing sleep stories. They have wellness sessions, and of course the sexy stories you can read. Go-to place for your me time. For listeners of the show, Dipsy is offering an extended 30-day free trial when you go to dipsystories.com/braincandy. That's 30 days of full access for free when you go to DIPSEA stories.com/braincandy. dipsystories.com/braincandy. Can I ask you, Sarah, about this study? Those vesicles, did they know they existed? They just didn't know what they did? Or did they not know they even existed to begin with, do you think?
That's a really good question. Let me see. It's the recent study points out a biological root cause for seasonal variation in upper respiratory viral infections we see each year, most recently demonstrated through the COVID-19 pandemic. Where it goes wrong for us is in the nose, our body's first line of defense against invading pathogen sites. I bet
they knew that that's what they did, but they didn't know that it dropped 40%.
They didn't know that it dropped in cold. I think that's what they did, is that they tested that. Yeah. So this is something that I've seen a lot of stories about recently that I read a funny article that, well, I mean, it's not funny. It's like insightful and amazing, but the title's always funny, that people who pick their nose or wax their nose are more susceptible to a bacteria that we have now linked to Alzheimer's and dementia.
Yeah, you talked about that on here.
Yeah. And so I think we are, because of COVID-19, doing way more research about things and pathogens that enter through the nose or the receptors in the nose, and through researching that are putting all the pieces together and now going, okay, now we know that these things exist. In what environments are they more intense, less intense, whatever it may be? And this is very like, fucking go scientists, you know? This is like the stuff where, and this is like the stuff where like we were talking about the kids in like middle school who are winning those like, you know, genius inventor contests and everything, are like, hey, what if we use that really simple thing and apply it over here? Because they're just like in that creative, like free mind space where they're making a bunch of, it's so freaking awesome. This is like this is like the good that comes from maybe the not so good. This is like optimistic Sarah, who like the
silver lining.
The silver lining, or like the growth mindset, kind of like what comes from that is a lot of new breakthroughs and things that like that discovery about that bacteria. I think it was also linked. There was another one that was found that was linked to like arthritis, and that if you can identify it being a bacteria, then you can find an like antiviral to fight it.
Arthritis is a bacteria?
Well, they found a link, like in certain kinds, and there was the same. It was part of that same like study. Like I found a few articles on the same kind of thing, where it was about pathogens or certain bacterias that enter, and then like they're reaching what these bacterias are linked to.
Well, yeah, keep up the good work.
Yeah, because like it's just so crazy because like I wanted more information on this article, like the cold, and the why we are more likely to get sick when it's cold outside. And so I Googled that in hopes of like finding more information or finding additional articles on this research or on this study. And it was just so interesting to see if you have to look at the date, because anything that came out 2017, 18, 19, 20, 21, even early parts of 22 has all said what you said in the beginning.
Yeah,
well,
you're inside. Well, I'm sure that doesn't help things.
No, it doesn't. I mean, it definitely does. Now, yeah, right. Well, it's probably the combo of the two. So now you have the nose that because it's cold is not as good at fighting off the
and then you go inside
pathogens.
And swim around in everybody's nastiness.
And then there are more around you, and we're all traveling on all this stuff, and
that's gross.
Yeah, so
humans
I just think it's
are so disgusting.
So disgusting. I was really shout out to Eli, who sanitized his hands after using the gas station pump. And
Did he?
I may be saying this like everybody's like maybe going, yeah, Sarah, doesn't everybody do that? I did not. Sometimes I like move so quickly I don't think. I'm just like,
I don't
my mind's,
do that ever.
Yeah. And he was like, yeah, I do not, like, I can only imagine what's on those. And
yeah, good point.
He's right. And like, do you ever go into places and think, nobody's ever cleaned this surface? Like restaurants or public, or places,
even people's houses.
And I'm like, I think nobody's ever cleaned this. And that kind of freaks me out. But then maybe we should be exposing ourselves to all this stuff and it's fine. It's just, I don't know. How do you sleep at night, Suze?
I just don't. It's
I don't
disgusting.
either.
Human beings are gross. I can't believe we're attracted to them. You know what I mean? Like, I think that all the time about men. I'm like, men are so gross. I can't believe I'm attracted to them. But I am.
Yeah, they are gross. But we're kind of gross.
All humans are gross. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
That's the way it goes.
I don't really care. I say bring it on. I am very excited to finally be in a relationship with somebody who lets me pick at them.
Oh, you're doing like the gorilla grooming.
This feels like true love. I'm like, get over here.
What do you do? Pop his zits or something?
Or like, when you are a person with a lot of hair, you sometimes get ingrown hairs. And when you like work out and are like just like sometimes ingrown hairs happen, and I love freeing them.
And you've wanted to do this all your life, and you never found a match, or what? Is that what you're telling
I think
me?
most people are resistant to. I mean, I'm not. I'm like, yeah, I get that. But I think sometimes people. I wonder how many people are open to that. Do you mean in
when there's a situation?
Do you pick at Adam?
No, that's what I was getting at. Like, if there was an issue, like if he needed me to do something, I would. But it's not something we do like while we're watching movies or something.
Well, no, I'm not doing that either.
Well,
but
is
it's
this a
more
regular
like,
thing, though?
No, we'll like be in the shower and I'll catch him like there'll be like a red, but like I'll catch him like looking at something and I'll be like, "What is it? I'll get it. I'm on the case."
Why?
I don't know.
If he's able to do it, why would you?
No, sometimes he can't. Sometimes because I'm better and it's more fun and let me do it. That's really what I want. I want to do it. I want the joy. What's wrong with me? I think I'm not alone in this.
Is he grooming you also?
No, but if I have a situation, he will take care of it.
Yeah,
if I asked him to, he would.
Yeah,
for
but
sure.
He's not weird.
Yeah, he's not weird. I know. Is that
like
weird?
You. It's a little weird. But I bet you there's a lot of people that do it.
This.
Yeah, I think
it probably goes back
type.
to like some like animal, probably when our buttholes were closer to our legs.
I mean, it is cute when you see gorillas doing it to each other.
Yeah.
You ever see that? They like go in the fur and they do stuff in there. I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, they're just grooming each other.
So
it feels
cute.
Yeah, I do feel like the need to like pick things out. Like if I see, it almost feels like it's more. Oh, this is going to sound so weird, but like he's like an extension of me in a weird way.
Oh boy,
like not. I know that sounds weird. Like not like that, but like I feel, or maybe it's like I feel comfortable. I never did that with other. Because he just let
I'm
me.
happy you're happy.
Yeah. You don't do this to Adam? What about Lincoln? What's wrong with me?
No,
is this
I'm not
weird?
doing it to anybody.
But
it's
you're
not weird.
You enjoy
it's a little
picking
weird.
things.
I do. I love picking myself.
I don't understand why this wouldn't translate to wanting to pick other people.
Really, Sarah? You can't understand how they're different?
Well, no, because it's like something you look, because I am the same. I like to pick at I could if we talked about it, but like, why wouldn't?
I'm not judging you.
It feels like an itch I can't scratch, and I want to I'm like, oh, I got to get that.
Really?
And when the boundary is, wow, okay, just me.
Listen, it's not just you. It's just that it's not me also.
Okay.
I bet you a lot of listeners are going to be, oh, Sarah, I love doing that. There are going to be a lot of people.
Yeah. All right.
You're not alone.
Whew, I never know.
I'm happy for you.
Okay. That's hilarious. What else do we want to know about? Oh, this is something.
I want to know about hair growth. I know that.
Well, there you go.
I want to know a lot about it.
I bet all the people at Nutrafol would support me.
Yeah, and you're grooming. Right? Okay, here's the deal. I know a lot of people, whether you're pregnant or you just had a baby, or maybe you're having hormonal stuff going on, or maybe you have a terrible stylist like I did. Some people lost their hair during COVID, or thinning. And if you are one of those people and you feel like, oh no, because it is super scary when that happens, and you just want it to be fixed.
Yeah.
Nutrafol is a fantastic way for you to feel empowered in your hair growth journey, because it is a hair growth supplement clinically shown to improve your hair growth, thickness, and visible scalp coverage. I am using it. We are watching. We are tracking my hair growth.
Yes, that piece is all. I am tracking it. It is
I know,
almost able to tuck behind the.
Yeah. It's just long enough to annoy me.
Yeah.
But then my stylist always says, like, but even though it's annoying, it's good news because it's getting longer.
Yes.
Anyway, Nutrafol, they have unique formulas to support women in all the stages of life. So there's like, specialization for whatever is your particular need, menopause, postpartum, all that stuff. And you can grow thicker, healthier hair and support our show by going to Nutrafol.com and entering the promo code BRAINCANDY to save $15 off your first month subscription. It's their best offer anywhere, and it's only available to U.S. customers for a limited time. Plus, free shipping on every order. Get $15 off at Nutrafol.com, spelled Nutrafol.com, promo code BRAINCANDY.
Yeah, man.
Okay.
I do have a correction to make. One of our listeners, Jess, reached out to me, and I misgendered Eddie Izzard. Eddie Izzard's pronouns are she and her.
Yes.
So when I was talking about her in the previous episode. When did you talk
about her? What did you say?
Oh, about the bit about how we lie, how when we're kids we lie about what we didn't do it, and then when we're adults we said, "Yep, I did it. It was me," and I threw the cat out the window, and
Yeah,
and she's very funny.
Eddie's a tricky one because Eddie is a stand-up comedian who famously would perform in women's clothes for years and years, and I believe they referred to Eddie as, at that time, a transvestite. I think Eddie would even say that.
He called himself an executive transvestite. Oh, she called herself. Excuse me. That is
it's okay. Yes, because it's hard when you don't know, and you didn't when you said it on the last show or whatever. And I think it's especially hard when for years they presented publicly as like transvestite with male pronouns and a traditionally male name. Now it's female pronouns, same name, and I assume same performing clothes. I'm not sure. But I saw on Twitter, like, people were real mad about it.
About me? Saying that?
No. I'm sorry. About Eddie saying that she wants female pronouns.
Oh, God, people get mad at everything. Like, just let people do what they want.
Oh, yeah. I say let people do what they want, but also have a little grace when you mess up. Yeah. It's hard to get used to the new ones.
Because, like, intention versus impact.
Yeah.
I recognize that the impact may, be...
We're doing our best.
Hurtful some, but
Eddie's a hoot, though, and a fantastic stand-up comedian.
So good. Oh,
so
my
funny.
God. Yeah. Dressed to Kill, it holds up like no other. It's so good. It will forever be good. Okay, what else? I have another scientific, not discovery. This was from, but like science was involved in this thing, and who knew? Not me. So, do you remember, like, when you were growing up, little kid? What was your feeling about Brussels sprouts?
Oh gosh, that was fancy. I mean,
wait, little kid, like Brussels sprouts were fancy?
Yeah, that's a luxury vegetable.
Okay.
They were not an option. I heard about them on the movies and stuff, and people would say they were gross, but I never had the opportunity to try one.
So, but you I'm sorry.
I know the reputation.
The reputation was that they were gross, right?
Sick. Yeah.
Super disgusting, bitter taste. Nobody wants to eat it.
Sick.
Right?
Yeah.
Then, if you are anybody who's been to a restaurant in the last 30 years, 20 years, we'll say.
Now they're they're all the rage.
Big hit, right? So,
big hit.
This is not like... I don't know. I think sometimes I feel like kale falls into this category where like chefs were just like trying to sell us on this thing that was like really shitty and not very good.
Yeah.
Like this is not that. This is, I had no idea. So
yeah,
I read, I listened to something on NPR that was a story that talked about this. So until 1990, the kind of Brussels sprouts that we ate or that were like produced were very bitter. They had a very bitter taste. And first of all, you should know Brussels sprouts aren't even something that's grown in the wild. Brussels sprouts are a human creation. Brussels sprouts are the result of some like selective breeding of different vegetables that grew in the wild, and we have created Brussels sprouts. And they developed in Brussels, which is why we call them Brussels sprouts.
That's so funny that we created them and they were still shitty.
Okay, right? So yes, so we created them, and that actually is a really good question. But not all of them are shitty. So what happened is just like we discovered the those vesicles in the nose, and we're like discovering different enzymes and discovering like all these. I don't know. I would imagine it's just like better, like things that can, I don't know, decide what chemicals are and what they do. Like better detect what something is, you know. The scientists were able to identify what the heck it is in the Brussels sprouts that made them taste bitter.
Yeah, okay.
And so
Good.
these scientists in the Netherlands went into their like a batch of Brussels sprouts, and they tested all of them for which ones had the lowest concentration of whatever this enzyme was.
Oh.
And then they took those, bred them together, and made a whole new Brussels sprout that doesn't have the bitter taste. So until 1990, we were eating one kind of Brussels sprouts. And it all happened when we switched to like this mechanized harvesting that like changed how they, I don't know, pollinate Brussels sprouts or how they like grow Brussels sprouts and everything. And they started
Sarah,
looking at what?
Wouldn't you say they're still a little bitter?
Well,
I mean, that's why we have to put bacon
would
all
say
over them.
that because they also discovered that some people have the gene.
And it's the cilantro weirdos.
Yes, it is.
Damn it.
Uh-huh.
So you think they taste great now?
I do. I think that they don't have that bitter taste, and I think they're they're closer to like cabbage.
Oh, wow.
You know how it's like neutral?
Yeah.
I
Cabbage.
think it's like it tastes like that. And then it's only when they're like left out for a long time they start to get stinky.
I cannot believe that.
But it was in 1990.
This is my cross to bear.
The
cilantro gene.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Damn it. Because I mean, I'll eat them, and I try to make them real nice with bacon and stuff. But I'm still like, to be honest, they're still not delish.
Yeah, well, that's why, because you have the enzyme. Like a lot of it is linked to genetics. What I thought was really interesting is like what chefs are always kind of like hearing about the things that are coming along in food. You know, they're the ones that are going to hear, like if you're in school and you're like learning about, like this would be something that might be in some kind of like chef magazine or cooking food magazine, but it wouldn't be something that the general population would have knowledge about. So restaurants like Momofuku, in that like, you know, fancy schmancy Japanese restaurant, they were the ones to first use bacon with Brussels sprouts because it became a thing. They were like, have you heard that like scientists have made these Brussels sprouts? And they got super excited about it. And because they got excited about it, they started putting it on their menus. And that's why we saw this big rise. Don't you feel like 10 years ago or so?
Yeah.
Or like it was like, can I see one menu without, but what I love about that is like if you go behind the scenes, what it is chefs who are always like creative and want to know the next like cool thing that's happening, and they're like I mean, so much about cooking is creativity and science and chemistry and all that kind of stuff. And so those guys were stoked on this scientific discovery of these two, what are they called? Glucosinolates. I don't know. That's what they call them. Those things that they found in the
like all of a sudden kale, Brussels sprouts, maybe even like pomegranates. They got like a goddamn PR person or something. Like 100%. They had a publicist. It was like, have you tried it?
Yep. But it would be like if like, I mean, I can't even think like they just this underground kind of group of people knew about
like the
it.
nerdy chefs.
And their enthusiasm was what drove them to
I'm
put
real
these
happy for
things on
Brussels
the menu.
sprouts, then.
Yeah.
They're getting their due at long
Oh my
last.
gosh, there's a really funny video floating around somewhere, probably TikTok, your most hated source of entertainment. That is, well, I'll say it's a comedian who's doing this, and they're playing the parts of like broccoli. I think it's like Brussels.
It's got to be Vinnie Thomas. Is
Brussels
that
sprouts
kind of
talking
brown-skinned guy?
No, it's like two women who are
okay.
playing the roles. Like one of them's Brussels sprouts and one of them's cauliflower, and they're like sitting around talking, and they're like, cauliflower's like, yeah, I've just been like invited to a bunch of parties lately, and like things are like really good. And Brussels sprouts is like, well, I mean, like, don't get too used to it. Like, like I remember it was good for me. It is such a good. I'm gonna have to try to find it on.
Yeah, I
online.
don't know who the person was that decided we're going to trick everyone into thinking cauliflower can be like fucking pizza and stuff.
Just because it's white does not mean that you can make it look. No,
it's not flour.
I am not You are not fooling me with that cauliflower pizza.
Right, and they pretend like it tastes just like. No, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
Stop
Say
with
what
your
it
lies.
is. Say what it is. Say what it is.
Say its name.
Say it. So it's not pizza. How dare you know what? I am offended and for pizza.
Yeah,
and like on behalf of
insulting.
pizza everywhere. It's insulting to pizza. Yes.
Yeah.
So
it's like pizza appropriation.
Yeah. Yes. How dare you pretend pose as something you're not. False advertising.
Yeah, you're living a lie.
I need to put pizza in quotes.
Yeah.
Okay. This article on, because they so casually mentioned that this was a man-made or what do they call it? Human creation. They called it Brussels sprouts are a human creation, which I felt like was, shout out to the author who didn't write Brussels sprouts are man-made, because man-made is very gendered in itself.
It sure is.
I do like that they said Brussels sprouts are human creation.
That is nice.
So then I had to Google what other vegetables or fruits are human creation. Suze.
Yeah.
I didn't know how many fruits and vegetables are a result. Like they're not what you can. You don't just go out and pick. Like eggplants, as we know them, didn't just grow like that for forever.
Oh.
Eggplants are a result of a long, long process of like crossbreeding and getting the right, like whatever they wanted. And original eggplants back in the day were round and white, hence the name eggplant.
Oh.
Right?
That really answers some questions.
Really answers some questions.
Okay.
And I think people found that the white vegetables were not as appetizing. And they needed something more colorful. So the ones that were colorful started getting cross-pollinated, like
They were like, problem solved. Let's go in the purple direction.
Let's go in the purple direction. What are some other words? Baby broccoli. I mean, that seems obvious because we're just getting like smaller broccoli over here. Like it's just a cross between like two different kinds of broccoli. But apples, the first fruits of apples came from the Malus seversi trees and looked a lot like modern apples, but were smaller and had a really, really sour taste. And most of them were just used for medicinal purposes. And then we started making
they
it
did
different.
a good job with those.
And
they're real tasty.
I still barely understand how this works. Like,
me
I'm
too.
like, oh, you just take the seed.
Yeah.
But you don't say me too, because you have grown, your family has successfully grown spicier peppers. Like I feel like Adam has done this in a way.
We just collect seeds from spicy ones that we like the heat level of. And then we plant those. We're not like mating them.
How
or
do
whatever
you
the hell
do that? How do they do that? How do they cross breed?
Like,
and then they just say like crossing.
They
like
have
they're
little
just
tiny
like
wieners
throw
and
it
vaginas.
into little tiny. They're stamen and pistil, right? Weren't those the parts of the
like
flower?
on flowers.
Yeah. But I feel like there's more to it.
There is, and we're never going to understand it.
No. Okay, what else? Brussels sprouts, we talked about those. Carrots, wild carrots changed in color from white to purple to yellow and finally to orange. And this was a happy accident that first occurred during the Roman period. So it wasn't until the Roman period that we had orange carrots. And then afterwards, they were like, oh, yeah, that looks good. Let's do that.
Yeah, but they all taste the same. I don't know why anyone cares.
I love the colorful ones. I think they're more fun. And now we charge more for those. That seems crazy.
I love that you said they're more fun. But don't they taste the same? But don't they taste the same?
Yeah, but they're more fun.
That's fine. I agree. But
everything that's colorful is more of like, would you rather have one color of carrot, which is orange, or would you rather have a nice medley of colors, and one of which is purple, which I feel like is one of the most delicious of all colors. I don't know why. But I was going to say that not a lot of things are purple, but now that I say that, I totally retract that statement because now I'm thinking about like everything is purple. Boysenberry,
there's purple potatoes.
I didn't even think about those.
Yeah, purple. There's purple eggplants. There's cabbage. Purple cabbage.
A lot of shit is purple.
A lot of shit is purple.
Yeah. Let's see. What else? Corn. Corn, as we know it, is the result of a lot of different crossbreeding, and now corn is it's believed that corn is most closely related to rice, and is of South American origins.
Rice, huh?
Yeah.
I don't see the resemblance.
Me neither. Well, I think the bigger ones, like if you ever see like the Inca corn that's really, really big, and it has a different taste. It almost tastes more like a potato. Like it tastes, I don't know, different in a way. But yeah.
I'll just take your word for it.
Eggplants are, I think, the most fun on the list. It says the ancestors of eggplants came in many different colors, including purple, blue, and yellow. And some eggplants have spines. I do not know what that means.
That's hilarious.
Spines? What is that on a vegetable?
I do not know what that
I don't.
means.
There is no explanation
alarming.
of that. That is alarming. And the earliest known eggplant varieties were white and shaped like an egg, and that's how they got their name. Yeah, so I like that.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah. I am amazed at all the people that can do all this stuff. Yeah. It is a good thing that we're like pretty charming and we can do this for a living because I can't do any of the shit you're describing.
Yeah, and I couldn't. It's like one of those things that, like, one time I was in I think it was in a philosophy class or something like that, where the professor drew a circle, and then it was like making a pie chart, and then drew a little sliver that represented probably like, I don't know, 5%, and he was like, this, or maybe even like 1%. He was like, this is the stuff I know that I know. Like, I know how to, I don't know, do a podcast. And I mean, I think I know how to do that. I know how to do that. I know how to, like, write my name. I know how to drive a car. I know how to ride a bike, all that stuff. Then there is he drew like another sliver. It was like 5% or 10%, whatever, of things that he knows he doesn't know. Like, I know I don't know how to program a computer. I know I don't know how to fucking cross-pollinate plants to make them different colors or whatevs. Mm-hmm. And then the rest of the circle was stuff that you don't even know you don't know.
Yeah, I don't.
And I was like, there's so much I don't know. I don't know. You know, it's kind of like when we're little kids and you say, what do you want to be when you grow up? And we pick one of 5 jobs because it's like all we've seen in Richard Scarry books. And then you grow up and you're like, wait, what? There's a job for this and this and this, and I could do this, and, you know.
Yeah, it's freaky. What disturbs me is how many people seem really fine with how much they don't know and they don't care to know. They're at peace with it.
Like they're settled in that 1% of knowledge that, or even less maybe.
I don't even think they contemplate it.
They don't think about it. Why do we think
I can't relate. Right.
Why do we think about this?
Well, we're curious.
That probably equally inspires me and freaks me out. Because it is, you know, I do understand. I totally understand the need for people to be content. And it is something so, I so desire. Like, oh, I would love to Are you drinking a little liquid IV over there?
Yeah.
I could totally
Yes.
tell.
Golden cherry flavor.
Oh, yum.
Yeah.
Oh, delicious.
It's really
Golden
nice.
cherry, probably another man-made, human-made, you know.
That's funny.
But yeah,
Yeah, this
so
is not an ad.
I like appreciate that there are people like that because like it's very necessary.
Well,
But-
and they seem happier. Like
Yeah.
Peg, my mom, she doesn't. She's not a curious person. She's like not tortured like me, and that lady is happy as a clam.
I don't want to say that some people are not as curious, or I don't want to define people as curious or not curious. That's for them to say, maybe.
Yeah.
But I will never forget when I was on the challenge on Rivals 2, I think it was. And we had to be, it was male-female partners, and we had to be buried alive. And in this freaking coffin that was the most psychologically, like it was such a mind fuck. Like if that, and I'll never forget, like, you know, you think, I would like to think of myself as somebody with a strong mind who would be able to, you know, rationalize
Maintain
and control
composure
it in such
and-
situations.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
However, that was not the case. And then anxiety definitely was getting the best of me. And I was like, I mean, you couldn't tell, but in my mind, I was like freaking out. And when we were done, I was talking about it with the other women on there. And I couldn't believe it that Jenna had no problem at all. She was like, yeah, it was fine. I just pretended it was a tanning salon. And then I was laying in a tanning bed. And I was like, oh my God. Meanwhile, I'm over here doing math on how much oxygen I have left. And like, I was like, wow, my overthinking. This is where
sometimes you can know too much or think too much.
This is, and maybe it's like not necessarily knowing too much, because I don't want to say like maybe it's a little bit of that, but it's being able to like regulate that, being able to know where to, like stop using that, like don't let your mind just take off and like come up
you're
with
in
ideas
the driver's seat.
Yeah, it's like over functioning. Like you're that classic overthinking, and overthinking creates like worry, and the worry creates the anxiety, and the like that causes the whole physiological response, and it's the whole thing. So when you can like dial it back and say like, I recognize, you know, like, there's almost a, like we've talked about this, like the sweet spot of anxiety, that like graph of, it's like a bell curve, you know?
Yeah. It can enhance performance until it doesn't.
Yeah. And so I'm still, you know, working out how to find the sweet spot.
Aren't we all?
But those simple minds, yeah. But I don't know how, that falls into the category of things that I don't motherfucking know how to do at all. Okay, what else do we have to talk about? I was thinking a lot about how we were talking about Elon Musk and how he's like well, you know, like the evil, basically the bad guy in every single movie.
Yeah.
He's totally like that. And because of this, I'm sure a lot of my searches or things that are coming up are all like more techie stuff that normally I wouldn't see.
Oh, because you spoke of him?
Maybe because I
you
spoke of him, or
reading
maybe because I was like looking at that stuff, like looking at like, you know, you got me
like
just
really
thinking
into
about
it.
that. Yes. And so this article came across my page, feed, whatevs, that Mercedes-Benz is now created this thing that's based on like what Tesla did. And they limit car acceleration until you pay an annual subscription. So you get the car. What do you mean? Yeah, like this is a normal thing.
No. I just have heard of it.
What
I don't
the
think it's
hell? This is so this led me then on to deep dive into these things called microtransactions. Have you heard of this?
No.
Okay, so microtransactions and the way we mostly know about them are in like video games and things like that. Their microtransactions are small transactions, maybe relatively small.
Yeah.
Small transactions in a virtual world. So things like skins or like, I don't know, whatever the like add-ons that you can get in video games, like extra fucking guns or whatever the fuck they play with. I don't even know. And those kind of things. Those are all considered microtransactions. And how in a way this what Mercedes-Benz is doing, which is what Tesla did, it is this microtransaction where you're not offering any physical thing more. You know, the car already comes. If you can unlock an acceleration, I don't know, feature on the car without adding anything, then it's software, not hardware. And the car itself has the capacity to reach those speeds or to accelerate at that, but they're restraining. The company is holding back in efforts to collect more from you, in the same way that a video game designer would hold back on the available skins the available options for these microtransactions. And it fucking freaks me out and pisses me off because I feel like this is the future that we're entering, where we're forced into like the add-ons in this virtual world are I don't know, it freaks me out, Suze. I don't like it. It feels like they're evil geniuses, and it feels like now it's things like, because then somebody had commented, I was reading some of the comments under this, and somebody said, like, this is why I'm not going to be getting a electric car. Like, this is why I'm going to just stick to what I've got. I'm not going to be upgrading my car, and I'm just going to keep on using my used car. And then the person commented under that and was like, want to keep your used car for the low price of $395? You can keep driving the car that you're driving. And I'm like, it's just a matter of time before they say, like, who knows? I don't know. I've predicted that the internet is going to be like pay for it. Kind of already is like that, where if you want access to this much of the internet, you have to pay. And it seems
like, though, the only way that business model would work for Mercedes is if the car that you get is, theoretically a luxury vehicle, but at an economy price, so that you feel like you're getting a bargain, but then you add on all this shit, and then they end up making more in the end, because otherwise people wouldn't. I think it's the situation. It's the same reason why they charge so fucking much for parking. I've been thinking about this. Parking at ski resorts. It's like they make you pay for fucking everything when you're up here. And I feel like the reasoning is, if you can afford to be here, you can afford to pay this much. What's another $10? What's another this? What's another that? Like, everything. And it feels the same way with it's $1,200 a year, an annual subscription. I think, and at the price, a lot of the Mercedes what did they say the price range is? The price range is between $89,000 and $195,000 for this car. Those people who are in that price range, when you're paying $100,000 plus for a car, what, $1,200? You're paying, and you're buying that car so that you can go fast. And they're like, hey, you want to spend an extra $1,200 a year, which is like chump change for you. That's like, who cares? I'm saying who cares, like people don't know I'm really saying whatevs, but people made me aware of how often formal. I say that. Yeah, I'm being formal. All right, and serious. But yeah, I think that it's the same reason. Like I feel like it's the same crowd that doesn't give a fuck if they speed, because they don't care about getting a speeding ticket because they'll just pay it, and the money is not a deterrent from like getting that. And I just hate that world that it's like consumerism on fucking steroids. Well, yeah, because it's the opposite of a simple life.
It really is. It's over, and it's like, just pay this much, and then you have this much. Thinking that really tell me how much better your life is going to be when your car. And you know what you're really paying for? The car is going to go from 0 to 60 in 1 second faster. That's it. 1 second.
True?
You're paying, yeah. And for somebody else, that like $1,200 a year, like could be $100 a month. Like,
Yeah.
for somebody that's like nothing, but for other people, it's like, oh, just like, I don't know.
I love it.
I'm mad.
You're
about
like,
it.
you're spiraling.
I totally am.
It's great.
This is what those rich assholes make me do. Like Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk make me spiral. They make me like, and then my phone just keeps on giving me like this, and it feels like I got to be nice to it because in like the robot apocalypse, like they're gonna like have some list. Eli
nice
of like
to it.
who was nice and who was not nice to Siri. Eli and I like to joke about that.
I'm sorry. I know. We're in it together, though. Don't worry. We'll be like living in our Miami Golden Girls bungalow in no time.
That's right. Oh, that'll be fun. Yeah. And you're good at all those homesteady things, so it'll be great.
We'll churn
We
our
don't
butter,
even
whatever.
need. We don't even need to pay for our fast cars or skins that we're going to be living in the future.
Should we wind it down before we get
Before
more
I get
depressed?
more wound up? Maybe
we spiral further.
Oh gosh, I'll have to save it
You
for
can
next
say
time.
it.
I didn't
Okay.
even talk about. No, this one we'll go on talking about for forever. It's
Okay,
too good.
okay, next time.
It's like it's at least a
Cliffhanger.
25-30 minute conversation.
Wow, wait,
I'm not
okay.
kidding. I think I buried the lead and then talked too much about the other stuff because I was excited about this. Yeah.
Well, don't forget to keep your nose vesicles warm
Yeah.
to prevent colds.
42% more protection.
And we'll find out if our listeners are into grooming other people,
Oh yes.
like gorillas. Brussels sprouts, new and improved.
New and improved. And so if you have memory as a child and you're thinking in your mind, is this the Mandela effect where I thought Brussels sprouts were terrible and they are really now delicious? No, you are
were
not
terrible.
wrong. They were terrible, but we made them delicious thanks to some scientists in the Netherlands going through the seed bank.
There you go.
There you go, people. Leave us 5-star review.
Leave it. Leave it.
We
and
love
be
it.
sure to check out our merch on thebraincandypodcast.com. And our codes are all there as well if you're wondering what to get someone for the holidays. And we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.